The arbiter of truth had something to say about the peace deal over in Gaza. President Trump got the most historic deal done. The Abraham Accords, obviously in 2016 to 2020. And then now the Gaza ceasefire deal that is between Israel and Hamas. But of course, Candy Owens doesn't seem to believe that the deal is going to stick or that it is a monumentous occasion. According to Candy Owens, she doesn't believe that Israel got attacked on October 7th. No, this is the arbiter of truth. So if anyone else is talking, they're apparently lying. And the only one that you need to believe is Candy Owens, even though a number of times I have proven on this very show that she is a scumbag, a liar, and very, very dangerous with her lies. She's going to get someone harmed, God forbid that ever happens. But all of her lies are being disproven enormously. But of course, Candy Owens, being the arbiter of truth, so she claims, never will correct anything. If she does correct things, she still goes, well, I'm right and you're wrong. So recently she took a little bit of a break from attacking Charlie Kirk, just a little bit of a break because in the news, the Gaza peace deal was a little bit bigger and she needed to respond to it and give us her take on what the peace deal means and also how disgusting and how vile Israel is, apparently, according to Candy Owens. So anyway, have a watch as what she had to say about the historic Trump peace deal. Have a watch.
Speaking on the topic of Israel, there was a very good video that came out. Actually, let's first talk about the Israel and Hamas peace deal that they're trying to shove down our throats. Now, if you're reading the headlines, a peace agreement is what we're calling it, has been reached between Israel and Hamas. Oh my gosh, because they decided that there's going to be phases and Israel is going to partially withdraw its troops from Gaza and Hamas is going to release the remaining hostages. And this is, of course, after everything that happened on October 7th. Don't forget about October 7th. And yeah, like hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are missing. And yeah, they have destroyed 85% of Gaza, and they're going to try to tell us that we've reached peace. At the center of it was Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They arrived on Wednesday morning to represent the U.S. negotiators from Israel, and Hamas and the mediators from Qatar and Egypt and Turkey also participated. And we're supposed to go, wow, that's amazing. Trump put a statement out on Truth Social. He wrote, I'm very proud to announce that Israel and Hamas have both signed off on the first phase of our peace plan. This means that all the hostages will be released very soon, and Israel will withdraw their troops to an agreed upon line as the first steps towards a strong, durable, and everlasting peace that all parties will be treated fairly. I can't even finish it because it makes me sick that they think we're this dumb. 85% of Gaza has been destroyed in this pre-planned controlled demolition of Gaza. Bibi Netanyahu is on camera explicitly before October 7th saying we need to hit them so hard that they can't come back. Jared Kushner is involved in, he will financially benefit from whatever they build in its place. Again, all of this began before October 7th, right? So we are supposed to believe that this isn't just, well, business as usual. We got done what we needed to get done, and now we can begin phase two. But we're supposed to thank them. We're supposed to thank the monsters that did this. You guys have it in your heart to say thank you? Thank you to Jared Kushner and Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu, who are just business partners playing a role, convinced that we're all so stupid. I mean, let's roll the clip back from Jared Kushner when he sat down at Harvard, Mossad operation, to speak about their aims. This is February 15th, 2024. Take a listen.
There are real fears on the part of Arabs, and I'm sure you talk to a lot of them, who think once Gazans leave Gaza, Netanyahu's never going to let them back in.
Maybe, but I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. So, if you think about even the construct, like, Gaza was not really a historical precedent, right? It was the result of a war, right? You had tribes that were in different places, but then Gaza became a thing. Egypt, used to run it. And then, over time, you had different governments that came in different ways. So you have another war, usually when wars happen, borders are changed historically over time. And so my sense is I would say, how do we deal with the terror threat that is there? so that it cannot be a threat to Israel or to Egypt, right? I think that both sides are spending a fortune on military. I think neither side really wants to have, a terrorist organization enclaved right between them. And Gaza's waterfront property, it could be very valuable to, if people would focus on kind of building up livelihoods. You think about all the money that's gone into this tunnel network and into all the munitions. If that would have gone into education or innovation, what could have been done? And so I think that it's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. But I think from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move the people out and then clean it up. But I don't think that Israel has stated that they don't want the people to move back there afterwards.
And Trump wants a Nobel Peace Prize, by the way, for the planned ethnic cleansing so that they could profit on the land and turn it into a beach town. So let me say this. This is our never again, okay? This is a Holocaust. A Holocaust just happened. A real Holocaust just happened. And we will never forget this. You need to tell your children what happened in Gaza. You need to tell them exactly who did it, exactly whose families were involved in this. And when you hear in the future somebody tell you, like, we're going to Gaza Beach for a vacation, you need to look at them like they are the absolute vermin of our society, because they are. They are. Their children will be cursed, okay? If you go and you play in the sand where you know that your forefathers planned to mass murder children, you will be cursed. Every person who steps foot on that, every family that is set to inherit what they did, they will be cursed. Your children's children will be cursed. Gaza belongs to nobody but the Palestinians. So when you begin to move the Israelis in there, and when the Trump hotel gets built on there, I caution the rest of the world to stay far away from that cursed land, because something is coming. You can't commit that much evil in broad daylight and not think it's going to come back to haunt you.
I've got a very simple question, considering Candy Owens is bringing up that 85% of Gaza has been obliterated. Considering that 85% has been obliterated, according to Candy Owens, right? Wouldn't the casualty rate be a lot more? Just out of curiosity, wouldn't the casualty rate be in the hundreds of thousands, if not the millions? I mean, it's over 2 million plus Palestinian people in Gaza. And from what I've seen, at least, from the reports that I've been reading, it only looks like about 60-something thousand people, Palestinian people, had been killed. Now, keep in mind that Hamas controls Gaza. Israel doesn't control it. They just went in and obliterated 85%, according to Candy Owens. And Israel wasn't occupying. They withdrew a very long time ago. They're not an occupying force. They're not the colonizers, as what so many people, especially Candy Owens, loves to point out. This is all planned, people. October 7th was planned. You know, the problem with being a conspiracy theorist? Nowadays, conspiracy theories have become sort of like the most profitable gamut in our day and age, because people are so fickle now. They don't understand what it means to do critical thinking and actually evaluate a situation. Conspiracy theorists, they don't use reason or rationale. They use a heavy amount of emotion. Don't know if you guys have noticed that, but just look at Candy Owens. It's all fluff. Absolutely none of it is true. I'm going to make a provocative statement because it is provocative and people are going to listen. And if you can see anything of Candy Owens' audience members, you can understand what I'm talking about when I say they've got no brains. None of them have got any brains whatsoever. Because if you're following Candace Owens and you're believing everything that she's saying, you've lost the plot when it comes to all things reason, rationale, and truth. Now, truth in today's day and age has become less profitable. Case in point, my show shares the truth. I make damn well certain that what I am saying is the truth. And sure, I get things wrong and I make corrections on things that I have said. However, the truth is nowhere near as profitable nor near as dramatic as saying a conspiracy theory like Candace Owens loves to do. It's her entire shtick. She's been doing it for a very long time, and it can be relatively dangerous because a lot of the people in her audience are suckers for it. And they are so vulnerable as well. When you're not thinking properly, when you're thinking, well, not really thinking at all, when you're using just emotion to go into a situation, what do you think is going to happen? It's not going to be good, is it? You need to be able to think rationally, not with a heightened sense of emotion, which is exactly what Candace does. She's a shock jock, telling us Israel didn't just get attacked on October 7th. No, according to Candace, Netanyahu orchestrated the whole thing because that's where the prophets are. Netanyahu's the big bad wolf, guys. He supposedly leveled 85% of Gaza on purpose because nothing says strategic genius like tanking your economy, your global reputation, and your own coalition to make Jared Kushner rich off imaginary beachfront condos. Nothing like making a former real estate agent, Jared Kushner, mighty rich. Now, I will say, because I was listening to Megyn Kelly this morning, it is true that when there is peace, everyone profits. When there isn't peace, no one seems to profit. So if I was Bibi Netanyahu wanting to profit, I would want peace. Now, when Hamas was in power and when they weren't attacking, when they didn't commit October 7th and there was peace, what do you think was happening to them? They were getting high off the hog, weren't they? They were getting lots and lots of money. They were preparing themselves and they started it. They started October 7th. They carried it out. They killed over 1,300 innocent Israelis. And as a result, Israel has gone, I'm going to defend myself. We're going to defend ourselves. We're going to get our hostages back. And Trump brought about a deal that no one else had been able to bring about. But of course, Candace Owens is like, we're not going to forget. We're not going to forget the supposed genocide, keeping in mind that there are still millions of Palestinian people in Gaza at the moment. And there's a part where Jared is apparently rubbing his hands together over a Gaza real estate deal as if the Trump organization is taking bids on beachfront rubble. In reality, Israel pulled every settler, soldier, and greenhouse out of Gaza in 2005, left billions in potential aid behind, and Hamas turned the place into a launch pad for 20,000 rockets and a whole litany of underground tunnels. Now, let me ask you guys this question. If this is all orchestrated and all planned, and I'm Hamas, right? All the leaders of Hamas, and Bibi Netanyahu has gathered them around a round table and said to Hamas, all right, Hamas, post 2005, you guys have got X amount of years, and on 2023, October 7th, you guys are going to come in. We're going to blindside you guys. You guys are going to come on in, and you're going to kill as many Israelis. We'll only give you a certain amount of time. That certain amount of time that you guys have, you'll have ample access to killing as many Israelis as you want. You can take as many hostages as you want. Just go absolutely ham. I'll give you X amount of years, right? And as such, you guys during this time need to create tunnels. You need to use civilians as human shields. You need to subjugate them as well. You need to kill them as well. You need to do all that sort of stuff because I command you to do it. That's what these people are pretty much saying. That's how crazy they're sounding. The Bibi Netanyahu is the master in chief, the commander. And then he's like, oh, by the way, guys, after you've committed October 7th, we're going to come in with a vengeance and we're going to level about 85% of Gaza and we're going to kill all of you. Sound like a good deal? Oh, don't worry, guys. You've got X amount of years to plan, create tunnels, to get rich, to enjoy yourself. But then after October 7th, after you've carried out your attack and after you've killed so many innocent Israelis and celebrated and you had your fun, so to speak, after that, my turn. I will come after you guys with a vengeance. Right. Does that sound remotely accurate, but that's what these conspiracy dingbats are alluding to, is it not? That Bibi Netanyahu orchestrated the whole thing. Jared Kushner, Trump, all of them way back in 2005. Guess what, guys? This is going to be an almighty great plan. No, that's insane. Even when I was describing it, it sounds utterly insane. But people are going, well, what's the whole point? They've been at war for... No. There's conflicts. They haven't been at war. Back and forth. But when you've got a charter that says we exist solely to wipe out Israel, I mean, how dumb do you have to be being Bibi Netanyahu? We're going to create a organization, and that organization, their sole purpose is to wipe us out. You're nuts. These people founded Hamas, not Israel. Hamas, bunch of Muslim terrorist Palestinians. And then you got the dingbats that just want to go, oh, we resist. We love resistance. We're a resistful group. Get real. But sure, tell us again how the secret Mossad construction company is plotting luxury resorts over the tunnels Hamas dug for kidnappings. Nothing screams vacation destination like unexploded ordnances and Iranian rockets coming over. My personal favorite, the grand finale, where everyone who supports Israel is vermin, because nothing says defender of truth like using Nazi vocabulary to prove you're the one sane, you're the only sane one left. Candace's version of events requires that there is a conspiracy between every single government, journalist, to put out fake intel and fake satellite photos. Everyone is lying except her live stream. It's almost inspiring the way she manages to turn war crimes, conspiracy theories, and anti-Semitism into a single incoherent TED talk on self-importance. That's from the Insurrection Barbie. Someone posted this: I will slap the truth out of your dumb ass. If only that were true. No, you're going to slap everyone in your audience because they're all dumbasses if they're listening to you. You're going to slap them with lies. It's exactly what you're doing. She only started being an effing psychopath about a year and a half ago. She's currently being sued by the president of France and his lawyers. And his lawyers are the firm who represented Dominion voting systems. She's also under threat of lawsuit from multiple others. Lawsuits take years. The reason she hasn't been successfully sued yet is because she hasn't been successfully sued yet. Stop acting like this. BITCH has had 15 not guilty verdicts, which would also be effing weird. Because apparently some people, that's how crazy dumb they are. They seem to think nobody has successfully sued Candace for a very good reason. They are still suing her, though, and she is under multiple lawsuit threats. And I'd imagine that it would be very, very soon. One can wait to see. But you know what? The grift or the game, the gambit, right, that Candace is playing, she's got to continue it for as long as she possibly can. Can't break character. Can't possibly do that. Because if she does break character, then all hell breaks loose, doesn't it? She loses. She misses out on all of the fame, all the notoriety, all the clicks that she's been receiving from a bunch of pro-Muslim people. I mean, the other day she read out a verse in the Quran and said that the Islam is a true faith. That should concern every single one of you, especially if you are watching her. Calling Islam a true faith. Goodness me. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.